Hey guys, Justin Video Game Addict 87 here, and today I'm covering a rumor that Sony will be showing off the PS4 as a console before E3, how out of control the rumors are for the Xbox 720, plus the new up-and-coming game console, Ouya, and how it compares to the next-gen bad boys, plus why you should get it.
Video Game Addict 87.
Okay, so getting right into it, as far as the PlayStation 4 is concerned, I'm going to go ahead and read an article, and I'll have the the link to it in the description. Starting off, it says, even though Sony unveiled and announced their next-generation PlayStation 4 games console earlier this year, no details were divulged about the design of the new PlayStation 4. Now, PC Gamer is reporting that Sony might be preparing to unveil its next-generation PlayStation 4 console and in all of its glory before the E3 Games Conference sometime in late April or early May, which I would love for them to do. If they had done that, there's nothing really for them to show off at E3 except for everything they have all at once. But continuing on, it says what we already know about the PlayStation 4 is that it will become equipped with a new DualShock 4 controller, which is fitted with a touchpad, share button, headphone jack, and a light bar for player identification. As far as the hardware specs are concerned, you've got the 8 gigs of GDDR5 RAM, powered by a 64-bit X8084 Arch processor, codenamed Jaguar, with 8 cores. The threading is HW threading and a 2 megabyte L2 cache per 4 core groups. And of course, the Blu-ray player. Unfortunately, no information on pricing right now. Or worldwide availability. However, it is still anticipated to come out in Japan, the UK, here in the US, Canada, Mexico, and select other nations. Now, tiny bit new information regarding another developer, Quantic Dream, the creators of the awesome Heavy Rain that came out for the PS3, has been announced that they are currently busy developing a new game for the PS4, adding to their ever-growing list of games already in development for the PS4. And of course, the source is PC Mag. Now, moving into Microsoft. I don't know exactly where to begin. Obviously, I'm not a huge Microsoft fan as a whole. I use Windows 7 Ultimate, but I prefer Linux over Windows any day. I just can't quite grasp the concept of Linux just yet. But getting into it, as far as the Xbox 720 is concerned, now, as far as this new rumor that's been going around for the last couple days now, or actually for a while now, not just the last couple days, but the always-on connection, aka constant stream of internet. I'll have this article as well in the description. It says, yesterday afternoon, Microsoft Creative Director Adam Orth was caught having a discussion on Twitter with another game developer about the rumors that the Xbox 720 will require the constant stream of internet to its function. His thought on the matter? Players should simply deal with it. Since it has been a hot topic lately, the internet was quickly whipped into a blind rage, failing to realize that Orth was likely satirically arguing with a personal buddy, and that they were joking around. Calm down, internet. First, a recap. Rumors have been swirling around for a while now that Microsoft's upcoming console 720, depending on how punny you are, even the next box, would require an always-on internet connection in order for the console to play games. Yes, even if the games have absolutely no online features whatsoever. The first speculated reasons for this tactic end up in two schools of thought. One, Branch assumes that Microsoft wants to deploy an always-on methodology in order to secretly curb the sale of used games, since an always-on connection would make it easier to identify a used game through the use of online authorization. The other assumes that Microsoft simply wants to have a stronger DRM, and an always-on DRM is currently the toughest nut to crack. Microsoft has stayed silent on the issue, most likely allowing rumors and speculation to run rampant across the wilds of the internet in order to gauge the reaction. Think of it as a secret survey. It's a brilliant strategy, which it is. If the backlash is significant, Microsoft can simply announce that the 720 without the rumored of the on always connection. And they say that never once. And they can say never once said anything about the requirement, which would be true. It could be true. This would simply save the company much more face than if it had announced the requirement itself, then had to retract the requirement due to the resulting backlash. The strategy makes us look like we're in the wrong, makes us look like we're fucking retarded, since we overreacted to the unfounded rumors and Microsoft in the right, since it hasn't announced the requirement. Now, however, with Orth's comments on Twitter reaching every dark corner of the internet, Microsoft may have to step out of the shadows and finally comment on the always-on connection. Before I go ahead and read some of the comments on the article here, taking it with face value, and it's not the complete article. There's a lot more, but there's just an image right underneath that last paragraph, where it's a comment between, or I'm sorry, the twittering between Adam Orth and Manveer Hair. I'm guessing. I'm not really sure. As far as this connection thing is concerned, well, all the rumors that are being spread about the 720, I don't know exactly how these rumors started. My speculation is that some of the guys that have been working on this Xbox or know somebody that's working on the Xbox may have been leaked through that way and then just spread throughout the internet like wildfire because, oh, the Xbox 720, here's what's going to have, here's what's going to have. They're all rumors. Like they said in the article, calm down, internet. I'm not calm for one reason. I hate the fucking Xbox. I hated the original. I hated 360. I'm going to hate 720. It's at just this point, it's a biased point of view. Yes, I know, but the reason why I hate this is because the original Xbox, it felt chunky. The controller felt like it weighed like 15 pounds. Even the smaller version, the slim version of the controller, it still felt heavy, felt unbalanced. In order to get used to the controls, you had to play for hours on end, and by then you felt like you had one brain cell left trying to control the rest of the brain. As far as this specific rumor is concerned, the reason why they would even imply that this is going to happen with either the 720 or the PS4 is the fact that the always online connection between the console itself and your Wi-Fi or your router, whatever it is, your router or your modem, either way. Number one, it does make a good point. Not necessarily in this article. I don't think it ever mentions it. But another article that I read about a few weeks ago during the GDC at San Francisco was that if they do have an online connection 24/7, they can also do updates without having to bother you in the middle of a game, because at least for the PS4, because it has the two different processors. One's dedicated for gaming, the other's for all online transactions, whether it be through the PlayStation Network or otherwise. While you're in the middle of a game, it can be doing a system update and just notify you that when you're done your game and you actually go to turn the system off, it'll just install it without having to bother you. Now, I can assume the same for 720, although they never mention it in this specific article. Now, as far as these Twitter comments are concerned, Adam Orth, at Adam Orth, whatever. I don't deal with Twitter. It's a headache. It's horrible social media. It says, sorry, I don't get the drama around having an always-on console. Every device is always on. That's the world we live in. And then Manveer says, at Adam Orth, did you learn nothing from Diablo 3 or SimCity? You know some people's internet goes out, right? Deal with it is a shitty reason. Orthy then says, electricity goes out too. And then Manveer comes back and says, you lived in LA, San Francisco, Seattle, very connected places. Try living in Janesville, Wisconsin, or Blacksburg, Virginia. And then Adam responds back, why on earth would I live there? Now, as far as this whole, Adam, Orth, and Manveer, Hair, whatever, is concerned, first off, no, not every console, not every device that we have, it's not always on. I turn my cell phone off at night. Yeah, it can stay on if I just leave it charged, but it eventually starts to slow down the device. Now with the PlayStation 4, and if it's going to be true with the 720, with this always-on connection, they're meant to, have some very stressful days, weeks, months at a time. Not so much with the Xbox, of course, because the whole Red Ring of Death nonsense that is inevitably going to end up happening with 720, no matter how many generations they put through, because Microsoft is just a worthless company. But taking it at face value again, the comments that this guy has made, first off, don't make sense. Second off, they're having a very general conversation. It never says anywhere on here about the 720. It doesn't mention Microsoft whatsoever. It just says every device is now on. That's the world we live in. Did you learn nothing from Diablo 3 or SimCity? Yada yada yada. These guys are fucking nobodies, as opposed to what Microsoft is, or Sony, or Nintendo, or even the new guy Ouya, which I'll get to in a little bit. I just feel that these guys are, they're jokesters. They have nothing. They have nothing. So, moving on now, of course, to Ouya, before I start to give myself a heart attack over how horrible Microsoft is. The Ouya. Now, if you go to ouya.tv/discover on your websites, your interwebs, first thing you'll notice, it says in huge font, it says Discover. Ouya offers every game free to try, because we believe you shouldn't buy anything until you know you love it. Now, it's a pretty good viewpoint when it comes to video games. Some of us aren't, if you go ahead and you download a demo, you only see a part of the game, which is true. I mean, it's kind of the same concept. But with this, what they're saying is it's anywhere from 25% of the game all the way through to 90% of the game that you can download for free, which is kind of revolutionary, because normally we only see maybe anywhere from 5 to 10% of the game. You may get the basic idea of everything, but you only get to see tidbits of every game when you download a demo or you play a demo, for that example. Now, it says here that they love playing video games on the TV, and they want to bring the most creative, innovative, and engaging games back to the TV by allowing any developer, and I'll get to this in a minute, big or small, experienced or new, paparazzi famous, or up-and-coming, to easily build games for the big screen. Your favorite and soon-to-be favorite games in 1080p. What's not to love? Now, first off, don't fear. If you don't have a 1080p resolution TV, don't worry, it'll still output to the highest capacity possible. Every game is free to try. Yes, you heard right, of course. If you fall head over heels for one of them or all of them, all you'll need is a valid credit card or debit card, or even a redeemable code, which I would imagine you'd pick up at your local retailer game store. And as far as the games are concerned, a lot of developers have been signed on for the Ouya as well, not just the PS4 or the Microsoft, hopefully. Boasting both award-winning developers and up-and-comers, you'll always be on the cutting edge of game releases, as Ouya delivers every game you love, from shooters and action-adventures to RPGs and puzzles. And since Ouya downloads all of its games directly, that means no physical copies cluttering up the coffee table. Now, it does say specifically compact discs, but nobody uses the term compact discs anymore, unless you're 70, 80, 90 years old and you're just starting to learn about computers. Which at this point, I'm not saying that's a negative thing. It's just nobody refers to it as compact discs. Now, there's a small problem with not having a physical copy, but I get the idea of what they're trying to get here is that it's 100% online and you can always re-download it if need be. Now, as far as the controller is concerned, every hero needs a sidekick. First off, the controller is a beautiful blend between what looks like a Xbox 360 controller or Xbox controller and a little bit of a blend of the PS controller, DualShock controller. Incorporates a touchpad, of course, but as far as the controller itself, it's precise. It's got very responsive feedback, and it also has 15 buttons in addition to just the touchpad. And of course, you can always connect 4 of these bad boys up to the console at any given time for a multiplayer, or head online for your multiplayer fix. Now, in addition to just what they say here on this website, it is also known for a fact when you purchase the console as a package, when it comes with the controller, it comes with an HDMI cord, and it also comes with the AC cord. But in addition to that, for the controller, it actually comes with multiple customizable faceplates, for a more customizable experience, as opposed to just that that sandblasted aluminum look. Which is a basic look, but it is customizable. Now, speaking of customizing, before I go into apps and stuff for this guy, we've outfitted Ouya with the NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor, 1 gig of RAM, and 8 gigs of internal storage, which is always expandable via the USB port. So don't hold back. Whether you use Wi-Fi or Ethernet, download games, or stream your favorite videos or music apps into beautiful 1080p HD. And since Ouya is the first totally open video game console, we welcome you to unscrew it and have a look around. And I'm going to break that down for a moment. Yes, it does have an NVIDIA processor, so out of the 4 consoles that are coming out this year, the only one with NVIDIA is this Ouya. As opposed to Microsoft and Sony using AMD, and I forget what the other one's using, but that's like a virtual reality. It's not necessarily a console. 1 gig of RAM, and like I said, since it is the first totally open video game console, you can update the RAM, you can update the processor, you can update the hard drive. You can also expand it with a larger external hard drive. And of course, it does include the Wi-Fi for the bandwidths of B, G, and N, and it also has an Ethernet port on there, and just in case you don't have a Wi-Fi router. Now, as far as the apps are concerned, they're saying they're trying to bring as many apps as they can to the console itself. And the big ones so far they've already partnered with is like Twitch.tv, Crunchyroll, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, XBMC, Plex, Flickster, hopefully Netflix, and as far as everything so far, nothing, except for the totally open game console, nothing else can top this. Is that you can actually develop games for the Ouya via your laptop and just plug it right on into the Ouya itself. It comes with all the tools necessary that you can actually just put on your laptop or even your desktop. But they're trying to get a little more in that whole on-the-go nonsense. Tools come free and come with every console, so no more excuses. If you have a game that you have an idea for, instead of submitting it to these massive corporations and weeks and weeks later, as you start to lose hope, you finally get a letter back and you get your hopes up yet again, and they let you down saying your idea is good, but we're not going to go with it, in so many words. So that's the Ouya. It comes out June 4th of this year, so just a couple more months left. The price is what really gets you. It's $99. Comes with, like I said, 1 controller, the console, the HDMI cord, and the AC adapter, plus the customizable plates for the controller. So it is definitely worth the value, and it's definitely worth checking out. If you want to try something new, it's kind of like an indie console-like thing, but they're, like they said, they're bringing a lot of developers on board, and of course, you can always be a developer if you like to play around with that. Now, one final note before I go ahead and end the video, guys. I'd like to get your feedback as far as all the articles that I covered, including the Ouya, and I'd also like to know for my next video, what are your guys' favorite game stores? Do you have a mom and pop shop kind of around the corner from you that you go to? Do you guys go to GameStop? I'd like to hear other things just than GameStop, of course, and Walmart. I'd like to know what you guys think of these GameStops or these game stores rather. Some feedback and everything. Don't just say, "Oh, they're great." Tell me are their associates knowledgeable? Do they have a wide selection of games? Can you still get the original PlayStation games? Can you get shit for the Atari, the original Nintendo? Can you pick up original Nintendo? I want to know as many details as you can think about of this store. And of course, you can always find me on Facebook and tell me that way. Video Game Addict 87. You can also private message me here on YouTube. You can just leave a comment below, and I promise that any of the references that I use I will give you credit for, and we'll take it from there. So until next time, guys, my name is Justin. Thank you for watching Video Game Addict 87 episode 2. Hopefully I'll have a video for you guys next week as far as that's concerned, so please, I need your input, otherwise I won't be able to do that video. So until next time, guys, take it easy, enjoy the rest of your day. Please subscribe, please give me as many likes as you can, and we'll take it from there. Thanks, guys.